at PH Days 2025. And now we will have an interesting presentation regarding media. We have someone from Naira Creative Agency, Yegor Apollonov. He will talk about virus AI videos, how to create virus videos and what to do with them. Hi everyone, we will have a cinematographic pause. We will watch a few videos and then I will tell you how to create those virus videos and I will provide you with a few life hacks.
Его отца и его вечно любопытного деда. Все мужчины в семье Ивановых славились этой легендарной...
All the men in Ivanov family wanted to get this power that made them
чем правда. Но кто может осуждать людей?
Legend in their village. But who can say that people should not trust in legends and myths? When he was 18, Petr became part of the local kolkhoz. He helped with diaries, he helped with cows, and it was a very difficult job. Grand ladies laughed at him, but younger ladies really loved him. Some people thought that it was all about the exercises. Others thought it was about genetics. Some people thought it was about borscht and garlic, but nobody knew the real reason for his strength. It was about the house. House was at the end of the village, and this road turned into a big puddle. You run around and you have fun. In order to get home, you had to go through this puddle. Ivanov had their famous car. Every winter, when the road turned to puddle, they took their car and went from one side of the village to the other. But New Lada is not afraid of dirt, but some family traditions are so strong that you cannot violate them. And here we will have the second video.
Raw power. That's why we went with the story of the Ivanov family and their legendary steel. The real challenge was capturing the perfect mix of that deep-rooted country life, family tradition, and a machine that's seen generations of Russian roads. So we knew we had to bring this metaphor to life in the real heart of rural Russia. That's why we packed up and headed to this little village, Glukovka Zalivnaya, where every porch, every wonky fence, and every old birch tree could tell you a story. We had some real challenges while filming, handling the cows, ducks, rabbits, and pigs. That took some serious prep work, but the team nailed it. We even brought in a whole crew of animal wranglers from the circus, and a pet psychologist too. And get this, a masseuse. When Mother Nature decided to throw a wrench in our plans, we had to take matters into our own hands. Or more accurately, the excavator's bucket. See, the village we picked had this spot where we were planning this epic mud puddle scene, right? But the weather was bone dry, hotter than hell. So we had to call in the heavy machinery, dig a hole. Then we got a water tanker, filled it up from a nearby pond, where of course we had to climb in with buckets because the damn pump wouldn't work. Classic, right? But the real test, not just for the team, but for the gear, which was stubbornly refusing to cooperate in those hellish or more like freezing conditions, was shooting in Nizhnevartovsk at minus 38 degrees Celsius. The cameras were freezing up faster than we start filming. The car, which was supposed to be cruising smoothly down a snow-covered road, was actually getting stuck up to its bumper every 5 minutes, and the whole crew turned into a rescue team. The locals, they were looking at us with pity, not for us, but for the equipment. They were really feeling sorry for that little Zhigulinok. Shooting this scene where the guys are carrying the Zhiguli turned out to be just as tough as the actual carrying itself. First off, we had to rig up these invisible to the eye harnesses on the men. Secondly, the crew had to go full throttle with equipment. The camera guy with his Steadicam barely managing to backpedal fast enough, but finally he managed to get the best shot. Looking back at those 6 weeks of shooting, seeing that 120-person crew working in absolute harmony in those tough locations, capturing the people and their car with cutting-edge equipment, that's when I realized this is what filmmaking is all about. Always pushing the boundaries, always going beyond what's possible. Bringing together humor, drama, and the perfect plot twist.
Дорогие друзья,
Dear friends,
Собственно, видео, которое вы только что увидели, оба
The videos you've just watched, all of that was created in AI, nothing of that happened in reality. And I must say that these capabilities already exist right here, right now. And I think we live in a beautiful time. Any one of you can create amazing stories. I would like to just tell you briefly
вирусились.
how to create those videos so that they become viral.
Телеграм-канала
My name is Igor Apollonov. I'm the founder of Neira Nutia
из мира
or
нейросетей.
Neurostruck.
Что происходит? Зачем разбирать?
And subscribe if you want to learn more about the world of AI. We're talking about AI, and people cannot imagine their lives without AI. If you do not know how to work with AI, well, if you do not know AI today, you will not have job tomorrow.
Видео для своих соцсетей, для
So try to do something push and create social media for your projects and create nice videos for that, because the picture is perceived much faster in terms of neurophysiology, much faster than any text. And in essence, it becomes the essential language for communication, and video helps to understand the right way. What we've just seen, I think it was a quite cool, quite interesting video, and most importantly, at home, sitting at home with a computer, you can do that. Neural network. This is just a tool. This is not a magic wand. This is not a red pill or blue pill. You are doing that. We have to master that tool. That's very important to make sure that this tool is run by you. It's a human being who decides what should be done. And AI, this is just an assistant to address certain problems, to create videos, and creates the worlds where Hollywood would spend millions and millions of dollars. That's really cool. Videos become viral because they arouse certain emotions. So we say, okay, let's share that video. Look after yourself and see what videos you're sharing. Probably it would be underpinned by some emotions, shock and anxiety, joy or anger, because hate and hatred, this is also another driver for sharing some video. Look at how awful it was done, and certainly that's about the wow effect. When you see something which is not clear to you, when you see something that surprises you, when you see something that you want to show to your friends and to say to them, look how posh it is. The more surprising your video is,
того, что мы привыкли видеть.
the more it is different from what we're used in our real life, the better it is. And at the same time, if it reminds us of the real life, if it creates any
Деревня,
association with your real life, the better.
заливная. Я придумал
Glukovka Zalivnaya, that's a village that doesn't exist in real life, but this is my name. So this is a collective image, and we see ourselves there running across the puddles. Choose certain topics that would trigger the people. Everything is underlined by some bright idea. Why you want to show that video? Why?
ключевое
You want to tell your own story, and the keyword is about to tell this story. Storytelling. Let me remind you what story is. This is a sequence of events that develop over time. A event followed by B event, then by C event. It results in some culmination, an unexpected culmination.
это юмор, драма.
So that invented driver, that's a humor, drama, and unusual turn in the narrative. That's the secret behind the
События. И не
success. So it's good if you have some drama and some turns, ups and downs, just like a ladder, where we can get that unexpected force, because the people would carry their favorite Zhiguli vehicle out the puddles because they were afraid of rust. So tell nice stories and end them unexpected. Look at watches and books that get you hooked always. There is a suspense and a shock element that adds to the value.
они с нейросетью.
The videos become viral once you have an idea. It doesn't start with the social media. Sometimes we believe that
Который может абсолютно
social media, this is a very powerful tool which can do absolutely everything, but it only performs your tasks, just like Photoshop will not
произведение.
make some surprising piece of art. Everything is on your mind, and still you get tremendous ideas. And these certainly could be delegated to ChatGPT, to Gemini, or whatever else. But nevertheless,
яркая
it's been supported by your bright ideas.
кратко сказать, что это
And if we look at that, so that's about the conflict. So there is a machine that has to be carried over the puddles,
есть необъяснимые
and it takes a lot of
Ивановых.
efforts, and there is some family of the Ivanov, so that's the awareness. This is the Russian village, that's the Zhigulevik.
В своей жизни. Может быть,
Did anyone have such a Zhiguleviko?
машину. Вот одну руку вижу, две руки вижу, три руки вижу.
I see one hand, I see two hands, three hands, and in essence that's about the novelty. The novelty is that
На самом деле
being able to generate all those things.
очень сложно понять, а здесь
What we are seeing there
или это
actually look very much like a reality. There is no differentiation between
показывать удивительно.
the fake one and the original one, and therefore we can show remarkable worlds. We can create the worlds that we couldn't create because it was too expensive. It was technically very unfeasible. You had to make huge expensive props,
Несколько промков,
and it
запрос, который
was too expensive. But now you make several prompts. Prompts is being used to make a neural network to generate a picture or a video, and then you create your little shedevers.
узнавать человека в кадре и узнавать людей.
Don't surprise people with neural networks, but in essence, we need protagonists who we would sympathize with. We need
Это возможность.
protagonists who would
И эмоция должна быть.
arouse empathy, and the emotions have to be associated with the people, not just AI. I see a lot of videos made with the help of AI. I see the videos that are just made for the sake of making that and say it was done by AI. But usually it has to be based on some story being told. We, in our childhood, listened to the fairy tales told to us by our grandparents, and a fairy tale that's about the fight between the evil and the good, and genetically. We
Это даже какой-то
are brought up to understand this history. Let it be just 30-second reels. Let it be bright. Let it be arousing emotions. If the story is good, it would be shared, certainly.
в ваших руках. И вот небольшая форма.
So you have everything in your own hands. So that's the formula of such a bestseller. How to create suspense, how to make sure that your video is shared. First of all,
Ситуация, да, в случае
we come up with some situation, for instance. In that case, it would be a remarkable strength of the Ivanovs family. Then we have some conflict,
все это берется, а где
misunderstanding of where it comes from and where that strength comes from. Whether they were having some special diet, garlic and borscht, where they got trained. Well, this is about DNA.
потому что все
And we have to understand that there is a conflict about that because all the
нация
residents of that village cannot understand what it is about, the culmination.
нашей ситуации
This is when we resolve that situation. So in essence, when your suspense culminates, and then, for sure, end of the day,
говорят голливудские
there would be
не то, чем кажется, все
a twist as
ситуация оказывается
the
очень
scriptwriters from Hollywood say
носить через лоб.
what seemed to be like that is totally different. And they're carrying Zhiguli over the puddle because they have only one vehicle, and rust and stain is detrimental to the vehicle. So since the very first seconds, you have actually 3 seconds, and we did a lot of experiments. You have only 3 seconds in order to hook the viewers.
С этим синдромом большого пальца
Now we are fighting against the syndrome of a thumb
видео и 3 секунды.
that would swipe all those reels. If once you have only 3 seconds, in essence, you have only 1.5 seconds to show some bright beginning, some of humor, some joke, something that the scriptwriters call a hook,
Что происходит
hook into the jaw. Then you explain what is going on in your video.
каким-то образом.
You say,
Думаете историю. На самом деле все это вы можете загрузить.
you tell the story, and actually you can download that into the neural network, into the ChatGPT, and you may say that I watched the presentation. There is a viral story, and then you can use that structure in order to make a story, and the ChatGPT will do that, so give it a try.
Это раскрытие какой-то ситуации, когда вы
The beef, this is about elaborating on that situation when you increase the suspense, when you
И обязательно красивые кадры.
show some meanings, when you show some drama, some nice frames, and if it is a pan, it has to be on time, and
Должны
all the situations that you have announced, they have to be performed in plates twist.
направление
This is something that would change the narrative.
удивления. Это очень
You have to surprise a viewer. That's very important, to be able to surprise, because one effect that I spoke about in the very beginning would emerge in the moment once you have an surprising effect, when we expect one end and comes out with another
завершение.
end, a punchline.
Да, это может быть юмор. Это
This is actually when the end is funny. It might be some wisdom when you want to teach viewers of something. It might be some shock
за тем, чтобы он задумался
when you want to shock the viewers, to make them
боль. Да,
think about something or share that with the friends where you can share some pain, because every viewer tries to identify him or herself with something, to find some life situations, to find the answers to their questions, or just to get entertained. But any video, any good movie, any good drama piece, this is always about a mirror in which we look
видите, это обсудить
in order
понять себя.
to see that, to discuss that with our friends, to understand ourselves and to speak about that. Because often it's been said that after a movie you want to discuss it with anyone. And 5 mistakes.
У вас нет
Let me tell about 5 mistakes. You don't have a story to tell.
дико красиво, нейросеть.
You just show several frames, and neural networks allow us to do that.
На самом деле вы
But you don't have a story. So in essence, you just generate something. You keep generating that for the sake of
начинаете с
frames.
истории. Есть герой,
Start with an idea, start with a story. So there is a protagonist who wants something, fails to get that, and kid goes through a conflict and reaches that. Then you have weak dramaturgy. It can be done with help of neural networks. So let me tell you something awful.
очень важно.
The courses of dramaturgy clearly are very important, but neural networks may help you if you don't have that knowledge.
Работают, загружайте в нейросети.
And for instance, all the tips that I shared, they are working, they will help you.
Плохие промпты — это уже
Give it a try and generate that. And poor prompts, so that's the technical part of that. When you are not good enough in
технологии, те видео, которые
retrieving the videos or the images that you need,
генерации. Я смотрел
just do more generation. I looked at
картинок,
the statistics in Midjourney, how many pictures are generated over time.
4000 изображений.
34,000 pictures were made by me, and the same is true for video.
Того, как работает нейросеть и как работают нейросети.
And with the time, you will understand how the neural networks work.
Нейросети недостаточно, и вам
It's very important to understand that one neural network is not enough. You need a whole ensemble, a whole set of AI networks. But if you want to make nice content, you will have to master a lot of other things. So there is no sound where
в нейросетях этот итальянский
dubbing. The dubbing that you heard today, actually, that's Italian director, was actually generated by 11 Labs. So there was no sound, the text
аудио, все это
made, the frames and audio and other things were made by AI.
Оскар.
It is not by accident that Oscar is given for the best sound, because dubbing, this is the background of your video. And there is no engagement. Once you do not engage the viewers into what they see, it means that they have no emotional connection to that, or emotional engagement.
Сценарное мышление.
This is your
Сделать видео
script writing mindset, may help you to make a video viral.
чтобы показать мой
I have only 30 seconds to show my stack of neural networks. These are some of the neural networks I'm working with. In essence,
контент.
any such AI director, creator of a content, would use a whole assembly of neural networks. This is not very cheap, but at the same time, it is very efficient. Only in that context, you will be able to create something good. Subscribe to my Telegram channel.
Q&A. Спасибо.
And I'm ready to take your questions next to the violet flag. Thank you so much. It was so cool. So that's a very creative person. Very creative person, which is called AI agency. But first, it is called AI.
Ваш Кулибин.
Не этот, а который...
So how you designed Kulibin? No, it was not me.
Разговаривает, который песенки поет. А вот я всем сказал, что похоже это...
But I told everyone that it looks like it was generated, the rap was generated, that it was recorded by person. No, not like that. Well, actually, we have to publish our material because very soon they will catch up with us, and you will never differ the AI-generated content from the human-generated content. You spoke about empathy, so we can call your agency neuroempathic. Yegor Apollon, within 20 minutes, you told us.